It's time for another comparison here. I cannot be more excited for this one. So I have a Porsche Macan GTS and the 2026 Model Y Juniper Launch Edition. So this is going to be a very fun comparison between both of these. Now, I've owned both of these. I currently own this Model Y, and I owned a Porsche Macan S. This is a GTS, so that's a step above. Let's start with some numbers here. Both of these have all-wheel drive. The Macan has 375 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 with launch control is 4.3 seconds. 0 to 60 on this, because it has the acceleration boost, is 4.1 seconds. This gets around 303 miles of range. The Macan at highway speeds will easily do over 400 miles of range. At highway speeds in the Y, you're probably looking at more like 280 miles of range, and then you'll have to stop and pull over and charge. Now, in terms of using space efficiently, you'd think both of these cars are good at it, but the Model Y blows the Macan out of the water. It all starts up front with the frunk. It has a drain plug in it, so you can use this for storing clothes or things like that, or you could fill it with ice and use it for a tailgate. The Macan obviously has the 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6, which is an excellent sounding engine. Now, if you're into exhaust notes, this one doesn't make one, but this one does. So let's take a listen right now to its, in my opinion, the best setting for it is in Sport mode with the valves open, and then Sport Plus. So let's listen to both of those right now. Now, let's take a look at these wheels. These are the Helix 2.0 20-inch wheels on the Y. It's a decent looking wheel. Then you come over to this. This is the Sydney Sweeney. I don't know why I keep bringing her up. I mean, these are just, a great set of natural wheels on this thing. Black RS Spider wheels with the huge Brembo Porsche labeled brakes. And it also has an air suspension with a few different settings, as you can see on your screen here. So when you put this thing into Sport Plus mode, the car drops into its lowest setting. You can also then raise it up to a normal setting. And then if you put it in off-road mode, it goes all the way up to its highest setting. Another design feature I like in the back here, and I'll show you the trunk space. So we're gonna click this. This is where you open up the trunk. It's just hidden right at the base of the rear windscreen wiper, so that's cool. And you have a decently sized trunk back here. You have no storage underneath. It's okay, and both of these have sloping roofs. The Model Y has 76 cubic feet of rear trunk space. It is massive, and I'm actually becoming a big fan of the way the rear of this looks. What they've done with the rear bumper and what they've done with this deck lid spoiler is important. So the rear bumper sticks out almost 2 inches outside of the back, and it's just this black unpainted plastic. This here, also plastic, and the reason for that is because people are hitting these off of their garage doors. In fact, that Macan has 2 marks on it from hitting off of its garage door, and this is now really cheap to replace. This bottom bumper is fairly cheap to replace, and they've designed that to reduce insurance costs, so I think that's really cool. This is a launch edition, so that's why that badge is there, and then it also has the dual motor on the left side, whereas normally it's on the right side. So we're going to open this up. Again, you have the rear light bar, which looks really cool at night. And you have significantly more space in here, not only this way, but also because there is storage underneath here. So you have a ton of storage space. In addition to that, there's storage space here and storage space here. And the seats automatically fold down just by tapping these buttons here. So that is just a nice luxury feature that Tesla has figured out. And the other thing is, even if those front seats are in the way, they will move up so those seats can lay down and then move back into the position they were left in. What I love about the Macan is it has a feature like that where when you turn the auto start stop feature off or on, it stays in that setting regardless if you turn the car on or off. So I love that the Porsche does that. They do a lot of really minor things that as an owner you will come to appreciate over time. Another cool feature in the back of the Macan here, like I said, it has the air suspension. So if you press this button right here, it lowers the rear of the car. So you can see the car getting significantly lower in the back, increasing the negative camber. And it is significant. Like if you need to load dogs or something into the back of here, which this owner has dogs and they load them into the back quite often, that's fairly useful. Or if you're loading dirt bags to go mulch your estate. Because if you own this, you have an estate. You don't live in a home, you don't live in an apartment, you have an estate. Okay? What else should we talk about here? The other thing to talk about, I guess, would be customization. So Tesla, they're stamping these things out every 40 seconds. There's only so many variations of builds that you can do. This is the total opposite. So if you want something that is very unique on the road and you're not going to see another one like you have, you're going to want to go with the Porsche because there are so many different configurations, especially for paint, for wheels, for interior colors. You can pick the seatbelt colors. You can get it with a fire extinguisher. You can get it with anything you want on it. I wanted it to be totally free. I like options. I like Melania, and there's been others. I like them all. But this one over here, Elon likes this one. Elon likes robots. He married a robot. I don't like robots, but Elon likes robots. And this one over here, like the Model Y comes with so much packed in standard. The Macan is so expensive as a new vehicle, and the Macan EV even more so. When you look at this, it is a bargain in comparison. And now that Tesla has upgraded their ride quality and cabin noise insulation, all of that, they are on an equal playing field in terms of how the cars feel when you're driving them. And I am going to drive both of them back to back. The other thing we need to talk about is space in the rear of here. So I'm 6 feet tall. I have my driver position set to what I would normally have it. And look how tight this is. I mean, you're just set up against, right up against the back of the seat. Now, both of these cars have heated and cooled seats, and the Model Y actually has an 8-inch high-definition display in the back that you can have separate Bluetooth hooked up and be listening to it. So as far as a family car, if you have a family, if you have 2 adults and 2 kids, and since it's Pride Month, if you have 2 dads, right? Well, I guess Pride Month is for gay and lesbians. So we got to support them all. 2 moms, 2 dads, whatever you have. You're going to want to be in the Model Y. It has more space. And for the kids alone, just being able to connect their Bluetooth devices so they don't have to talk to you because they hate you, that is a really nice feature. Now, let's take a look at the space. So again, you can access that button on the side there. The seats automatically go back up. A nice luxury feature they've added here. Let's get into my seating position. Okay, that's good. That's my seating position. Let's see how much space we have here. It's not even remotely close. There is so much more space here. You have 6 inches in front of your knees, a ton of space to put your legs under the seat fully, and there is no hump in the center here because there is no transmission tunnel or drivetrain or anything like that because it's an electric vehicle and the batteries are on the bottom. So there is so much more space in here. In addition, if you tap these buttons right here, you can recline the seat or make it more vertical and go on however you want to sit. And like I said, if you click this button right here, you can go to YouTube and you can watch your favorite YouTuber or whoever you want to watch. And in this case, it's Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel is our favorite. And look how responsive and look the technology here. It works just like you're on your phone. And when you have technology built into the vehicle, that's how you want it to be. So this is just, from a Tesla standpoint, there are all the complaints of build quality. It's noisy. The suspension's rough. All of that has absolutely been addressed. Now, one luxury feature that the Macan has that this doesn't is the roof shade in this. So this is an aftermarket roof shade. This one fits incredibly well. It's from Vion. I'll have it linked in the description. But it's $59, free shipping, and then my code saves you another 10%. In that, it has a sunroof that opens, and it has an automatic shade. So those are the luxury features that Tesla still lacks. Where Tesla makes up for it is technology. These companies are nowhere close, especially for full self-driving. You're able to remotely access the cameras built into the vehicle. So here's one of the cameras. So if someone's breaking into my car, these cameras are recording it, puts it onto a USB drive, or from the Tesla app, I can download that onto my phone and give it to the police, or put it on my computer or whatever you want to do with it. So in terms of technology, full self-driving, cooling the car remotely, all of that type of stuff, Tesla's leagues ahead, but it's still not for everyone. Like I said earlier, on a long distance trip, that Macan will do over 400 miles of range going 80 miles per hour. This doesn't have, well, first of all, you can't buy a Model Y that goes 400 miles. The rear wheel Model Y will do 357 miles of range with the 19-inch wheels. So if you're doing a ton of road trips and that's going to really bother you that you have to stop the charge, personally, it doesn't bother me that much because after 2 to 4 hours of driving, I have to go to the bathroom, or the kids have to get out of the car and go to the bathroom and eat. So for me, it's not a big deal, but I understand that some people are impatient, they don't want to deal with it, and I get it. And I'm not here to tell you you should do one or the other, but in terms of daily driving, this is a 10 out of 10.
Now I'm going to start talking over myself right now because today's video sponsor is INTOTHEAM and I'm wearing one of their basic tees in this video. These t-shirts fit incredibly well, and they're basic tees, they're basic hoodies, their athletic shorts, their waffle knit hoodies, and even their button-ups are just excellent. And what's even better is when you use code Gjeebs at checkout at INTOTHEAM.com, you save 10% in addition to whatever sale they currently have going on. Their 4th of July sale is just starting, so from now through July 7th, there are massive savings on their website. I've been working with INTOTHEAM for almost 5 years now. They're an excellent company. They make great products. Tons of my viewers have already bought their t-shirts. They're well priced, they fit well, and you feel good when you're wearing them. Also, if you want just a plain tee with a great fitment, you can go logo or no logo. So go to INTOTHEAM.com, use code Gjeebs to stack on top of any other discounts they have, and INTOTHEAM, thank you for sponsoring this video.
All right, so now that we've kind of covered the basics of both of these vehicles, let's take them both for a drive and see where they differ. So driving the Macan GTS, let's put this thing into Sport Plus. So you have this little dial down here. You can change your drive mode. So again, the car is just lowered. We're now in a low setting. And the air suspension is significant with how it raises and lowers the car. Like off-road mode gives you significantly more clearance than this does. It idles at just under 1,000 RPMs. And it pops the shifts off quickly. So it pops the shifts off quickly. It opens up the valves on the exhaust. And then you can also go to an individual mode where you can adjust how you want the suspension, the throttle, the exhaust. You can dial all that in to have a custom mode to exactly what you would want it to be. So I think that's cool. So I'll tell you what feels different right off the bat, the connectedness to the vehicle. And overall, you can feel the weight of the car. These cars weigh the same, surprisingly. A lot of people think, there you go, the front camera just turned on because you're getting close to this car, or not even really that close. And the 360 above, and we can rotate through the different camera settings there. So that's kind of cool. Annoying, but at least it shows you something. You feel the weight of this vehicle despite these being the same weight, where the Y actually feels more agile. Oh my goodness, the way this thing pulls and rips through gears, it is so fun. And I've had mine in the canyons before. It feels so nice to drive. If you like driving gas cars with transmissions and things like that, it's not as sharp as the Model Y is, and I'm in the most aggressive setting right now, so this is as close as it's going to get. And it holds gears. It's incredible what this thing can do and how it sounds and performs. Despite all of that, it does have a massive gas tank. It's a 19-gallon tank, and that's why you get, we're gonna put this sport back into normal mode because, you know, we're trying to save the environment here. Yeah, this thing is so connected to the road, and it gives you, as someone who maybe you're driving around maybe a BMW M2 or something like that, and then you have a family and you still want to have a sporty, unique car, that's the Macan. That's where you go to get some of that visceral feeling of driving a vehicle, where the Y makes a lot more sense for most people. But if you don't want to go to electric yet, this is a very good option. And I think the reason they depreciate so much, first of all, there's a lot of them that have been made. And the other thing, I think people are worried about the maintenance. I think they're too worried about that because I just don't think it's that bad. As long as you have someone looking at it on an annual basis for oil change, looking at the bushings, things like that, It's not going to be terrible. Gas mileage is not great. It's decent on the highway. You'll get in the high 20s, not bad. But all Macans come with a staggered wheel. So the rear wheels are wider than the front wheels, so you can't rotate them evenly. So you might burn through tires more quickly in this than you would in the Model Y. Now the Model Y Performance will come with a staggered wheel setup, but the standard long-range Model Y that I have just comes with a squared setup. This does feel sporty, I will say that. I'm in the most comfortable setting right now. The cabin is definitely slightly louder, and the ride is surprisingly more firm despite having more of a sidewall with the tires and having an air suspension. It's just set up as more of a performance-oriented vehicle. Now, so if you went to the S or the base Macan, then it would probably be a little bit softer, but the GTS, it's not stiff, but remember, it's a GTS and it's supposed to be a performance-oriented. There's a table sitting on the side of the road out there. It's a performance-oriented SUV, so it's not bad, but the Y is going to feel a little bit more comfortable. Cooled seats feel nice. The sound system's good. The Model Y sound system is better. It's noticeably better, but this sound system in this is very good. It's the Bose upgraded sound system. That's another thing if you're searching for a Macan or a Porsche in general. You got to get a Bose system at least. Some of them have, I can't remember if it's Bang & Olufsen, what they have another step up. I can't remember the branding of it, but that is excellent, but it's like a $5,000 option. So yeah, prices on this thing have fallen drastically over the past few years. They were up in COVID just like everything else, but now they're back down to the fun zone where you can start shopping online and imagine owning all of these vehicles that were previously well out of the price range. This being $85,000 new is crazy, but got to custom build it to exactly what they wanted to be, and that's what you pay for. So I'm a big fan of the Macan. This is a beautiful spec, but now let's jump into the Model Y and see how that is in comparison driving them back to back. So now in the Model Y, when you get in here, there's just so much less. I mean, this is all open up here. There's just so much more open space because everything is built into the infotainment system. The other cool thing that the Model Y has now, so when you click on your air conditioning, you have this right here. It's called swing mode, and that takes the air and blows it side to side. You can see it says swing mode activated. And that's just one example of Tesla's software, the graphics, everything being so far ahead of really anyone else out there. It's really well done for a car's infotainment system. There's a company called BYD. It's a Chinese company, and their litmus test for their car's infotainment systems are if you have to reach for your phone to do something, change a song, whatever, that is a fail. And that's what I think Tesla does a really nice job of. You can have your text message, you can have everything come through this screen and never really have to reach for your phone. So I think that's a good litmus test, whereas the Porsche, it's not bad. The infotainment screen is really high res and you default to Apple CarPlay anyways. But this with the constant software updates, I don't know. I prefer it. My wife prefers Apple CarPlay. So it just really depends. Sound system in this thing is excellent. The ride quality on this thing is, I would say over the big bumps, there's more give. And then the steering is just like looser. Like even if I put the steering in dynamics, if I put it into heavy, yeah, it's still not as tight as the Macan felt. So the Macan definitely overall has a sportier feel to it, as it should. It's a GTS. This is not the Model Y Performance. It's not out yet. The value of the Y now, considering it's the same price as it was before, but the ride quality, cabin noise, all that stuff has been improved upon greatly. It really is hard to beat. Even things like this right here, we have the blind spot camera. You put your turn signal on, it shows you what's in your blind spot, and you can move it to other parts of the screen. It's actually a little bit bigger when you put it right there. So where the Macan doesn't have that, I don't know. There's a lot to consider when driving both of these because it's a lot of money to spend. But I think for most people, the best answer would be to go with a Model Y. I think the issue is if you live in an apartment or somewhere where you don't have access to consistent charging, that would be annoying to me. And then a Macan, you can fill it up in 3 minutes and be on your way. But there's trade-offs to both. The expensive to maintain a Macan are more expensive than the Y, and then the Y takes a little bit longer on road trips, but has better technology. There's so much. I think for most people, the Y makes more sense, but the Macan is such an excellent vehicle, and you should try and test drive both of them to see what you like, see what you prefer. And then you also have to figure out what you value. Keep in mind, this thing has a 8-year, 120,000 mile warranty on the battery, and the same for the drive unit as well. So if anything fails, and there's very few moving parts in this, you're going to be covered. And then it has the 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty, which the Porsche Macan also has. So my advice, test drive both of these. The Macan is very cheap right now, especially on the used market, but with EV tax incentives ending, it might be time to at least have one electric vehicle in your house. I think having one electric vehicle and one gas car, if you have 2 cars in your household, is the play. Using these on a daily basis, there is no better daily driver. Things like keep mode to keep them nice and cool when you run into the grocery store. You can set your charging to a time to charge at your house when it's cheaper. The list just goes on and on. Now, if you want to see what a road trip is like in this Model Y, you can click this video right here,